Hello everyone, it's about 3 hours since Nintendo's E3 2018 presentation dropped, as well as a couple of bits of information about Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. I'm going to be rounding up a couple of bits of information that we were given, both during the Direct and during the Treehouse, and also some information that we can extrapolate from the demo they were playing during the Treehouse. Side note, sorry if I sound a little bit weird, I had a dentist appointment earlier and my mouth still feels kind of weird from them poking around in it, and sorry if I speak kind of fast. I have work in the morning and it's getting late, so you know. To start off with, Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, which are being shortened to Let's Go Pikavee in the Japanese magazine Koro Koro, so I'm going to stick with that shorthand, is slated to release this year, November 16th, so bear that in mind that the game is about 5 months away. Now, the game is quite clearly not aimed at hardcore or long-time fans of Pokémon, and there's been a bit of controversy and confusion over that. Game Freak have said that this game is very different to what we'll be getting in 2019. They are working on another Pokémon game, so this isn't the only thing they've got in the works. From the information we've been given, as well as comments made during the Nintendo Treehouse, we can safely say that this game is aimed at two main audiences: younger people and people who were interested in the Generation 1 games and/or the Pokémon anime, but their interest in the series died after that, and was perhaps rekindled when Pokémon Go came out. During the Treehouse, they did mention that they're going for a more Pokémon anime-inspired feel with this game, both stylistically and kind of the general feel you're going to get while playing it. And I'm going to try and remain as unbiased as possible, as honestly I'm pretty on the fence about these games. So let's start off with something pretty major. They've replaced the Safari Zone in Fuchsia City with Pokémon Go Park. Pokemon can be transferred up from Pokémon Go to Let's Go Pikavee, but can't be transferred back to Go. That bit's not to be unexpected, as trading up from, past gens through Bank has always been a one-way trip, and I know this is a little bit different from Pokemon Bank, but it's a similar sort of concept. Now, the surprising part is the lack of a Safari Zone, a very notable part of Gen 1, which a lot of players were really upset about not being included in Generation 2, which they perhaps had to scrap due to time constraints. The whole of Let's Go Pikavee is running off similar mechanics to the Safari Zone, with no attacking wild Pokemon and only throwing Pokeballs, so this might be part of the reason why they've scrapped it. They might have been more inclined because there's less of an interesting mechanic there if that's what you're doing throughout the entire game. Another thing of note, and potentially related, is that the locations you find certain Pokemon in have changed. During the Treehouse demo run-through, we saw the player find an Oddish in Viridian Forest, which in Red and Blue can't be found until Route 5, and can't be found until Route 12, I think, in Yellow? So we can assume that the Safari Zone exclusive Pokemon like Tauros and Chansey will be found on other routes, and not just completely absent from the game or something. They're probably still really rare, and for some it might be easier to just transfer them up from Pokemon Go through the Go Park thing. Though as some Safari Zone Pokemon are region locked in Go, it's more likely that they're just going to move them to a different route than remove them from the game altogether. Now, tied to the whole route change thing is an interesting bit of dialogue we get when entering Brock's gym. You have to show me a grass or water type Pokemon to face the leader. Now, in the original Gen 1 games, it's pretty much impossible unless you pick Squirtle or Bulbasaur to have a grass or water type before Brock. So that's probably why we see Oddish appearing in Viridian Forest, albeit rarely. I mean, I'm not complaining, honestly. Oddish is one of the cutest Gen 1 Pokemon in my opinion, so getting one super early isn't too bad. Like, I don't mind getting one early game, and I don't particularly mind with them messing around with what Pokemon appear in what routes, because I feel like it's going to make the game a little bit... It's a thin silver lining. So far, we've only seen this with Brock, so it might not be the case for all the gyms, and may only serve to highlight the type weakness system early on. But for now, I'm just going to assume that all gyms are going to require something like this, so you're going to need like a grass or an electric type to fight Misty, or a fire type to fight Erica. Next up, the Pokemon Go Plus. It will be coming with a Mew. No information on levels, moveset, just, hey, free Mew. Or, not free, the Pokeball Plus is kind of pricey. The size of the Pokemon you capture is going to change how much experience you earn, and on that note, all Pokemon in your party seemingly gain experience without the need for an EXP share, and you'll get more experience for a more accurate throw, similar to the mechanic in Pokemon Go, where you've got nice throws, great throws, excellent throws, that sort of thing. The CP system from Go will also return, and it's going to work pretty much the same way, and it looks like the level up movesets have been altered, because Pikachu is shown learning Double Kick. Also returning from Go is the function of the Raspberry to increase capture odds, and a similar concept to the candy you use to level up will also be implemented, allowing you to boost a Pokemon's stats. So I think the example we saw was something called like Quick Candy, and it raised Pikachu's speed. Also, there's a new rival. He's a lot nicer than Blue, and seems a bit more of like a neighborhood buddy kind of character. His name is Trace. Some people have also noticed that in the Pokemon Center is a town map, showing Kanto and not showing any connection to Johto or the Sevi Islands, so we can pretty much rule out those as appearing. Okay, so there's probably a few things I missed, but these are the main ones. Once again, it's worth keeping in mind that these games aren't meant for a hardcore or long-term audience, but as a gateway to introduce new people and lost fans back into the series, without becoming inundated with information and technical mechanics. I'm glad they've not gone for a straight-up remake of Yellow, Red or Blue, and I'm definitely going to be playing this, but I might just get one version instead of two, like I usually do. They've also announced that there will be a bundled version for the Pokeball Plus. Personal opinion here, I didn't get Go Plus, and I sort of still want one, so this being compatible with Pokemon Go makes me lean more towards getting it, but I think I'll wait and see what the bundle price is going to be like here in the UK. When Go Plus came out over here, I was a bit on the fence about getting it, because I didn't know how much I would play Pokemon Go, and I ended up playing it quite a lot. So now I'm a bit like, I should have got it. So, kind of leaning more towards getting it this time, and especially if they make it compatible with future Pokemon games on the Switch. So if the next games, like the 2019 games, are compatible with using this as like a throwing device, that'd be really cool, and I would definitely get one, but they haven't said it's going to be possible yet, so, you know. Hopefully we'll get a demo on the Switch at some point, for like the one that was shown here. But I'm not holding my breath for it to be anytime soon. They've got about 5 months until the game's released, and I think they might hold off on it until closer to the release, as they've had a really bad habit in the past of leaving literally all of the game's assets in the demo files, and people finding out information through them that we weren't meant to know until, like, post-release. I remember this was a really big thing when they did the demo for Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. And they have said that there's going to be a special Pokemon in the game, hinting that it could be a completely new one. They haven't given us any more information about that, sadly, which was one of the things that I really wanted more information on. It could be a new evolution, it could be a Gen 8 Pokemon, could even be literally Missingno getting its own spot in the Pokedex. But sadly, we are going to have to wait for that one. Anyway, I hope this video is useful in condensing down some of the information we got. If we get any more major chunks of information in one go, I'll see if I can make another one of these videos. It's just, this happens to have come at a really good time because I'm home today, off work, and I haven't really got much going on. And whilst you're here, feel free to, in the spirit of things, tell me your favourite Generation 1 Pokemon in the comments. Because, honestly, I find it really hard to pick, and when I was a kid, my favourites were Poliwhirl and Beedrill, but in the last couple of years I've swung a lot more towards Chansey, because it's just so cute, and it's just such a friendly, cute Pokemon, and I don't know, a lot of my favourites kind of veer into that, like, cute territory. Like, my top favourite Pokemon is Umbreon, so you can imagine I'm a little bit disappointed that we can't evolve Eevee into any evolution past Gen 1. I mean, I also really like Crobat, so I'm a bit disappointed that we can't evolve, like, Golbat into Crobat, stuff like that, like, that they've just gone with the straight-up vanilla Gen 1 Pokedex, but I know why they're doing it. I can see why they've done it, and I can see the reasoning, and it's not to my taste. I would have definitely done it differently had I been directing these games, but I'm not the one who is directing these games, so for now, I'm just going to assume that they know what they're doing, they know what they're going for, and try and keep in mind that these games are not aimed at me as a long-term and hardcore fan of Pokemon. Like, as someone who grew up with Gen 1, and then grew up with Gen 2, and then Gen 3, 4, and didn't really take a break from the franchise at any point. But yeah, so thank you very much for watching, and I'm going to stop now or else I will start rambling like I always do. I will play a little bit more footage after this from the treehouse, maybe speed it up a little bit and, like, if there's anything interesting. But yeah, thank you!